Hello guys. Oh my gosh. You're never gonna hear from me ever again. Hi guys. Guess what? We're back on the grind and we're doing a February wrap up. Yes, it's February. I have all of my reads listed here. I read 12 books. 10 of them were romance. One of them was a paranormal romance. And then one was a romantasy. The first book I read was Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. And this is a part of the Black Tie Billionaire series. And there's 2 books. In fact, I did not read the second one this month. Nor do I think I really am going to. For this book, I gave it a 3.5 stars. It wasn't my favorite book, but like it wasn't horrible. The main character is a graphic designer and she's struggling with her job because she loves doing art, but she doesn't know how to get there. So the next best thing was graphic design. Well, her boss comes in and meets her. Her boss for that day is like a new boss because he just bought the company. Is actually her ex-boyfriend's brother. Yeah. And her ex-boyfriend did her dirty, but she still loves like the whole entire family. But she had a little vacation with them and she met the brother, to say nonetheless. He goes to her and he's like, hey, we're gonna fake date because the tabloids are saying that I'm a party boy and this isn't good for my company, and the fact that I just bought your company, it's not good. So we're gonna fake date and you're just gonna be chill with me, be my personal assistant, and I'm gonna help you get to the art position that you want to get to. It's basically the premise of it, is that they fake date and he's her personal assistant. So the second book was Wait For It by Mara Zapata, which I gave a 4 stars. We have our main character, Diana. She has 2 boys that are not hers, but she inherited a way that it doesn't say it on the blurb, so I'm not going to say why, but it was a painful way. And she just moves into a new home where the crime rate is down because she was in another spot in Texas where the crime rate was a little bit So she decides to move to this new house where there's not much crime rate and where she can start over and just live life. Well, she has a little bit of a grumpy neighbor. Man, he's not really grumpy. He's just like not... He's just a Mara Zapata boy. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. If you've read a Mara Zapata book, you know the boys. He's just like that. She meets them in a not so fun way. But she meets the brother first, which he's just going through things and he's really grumpy and annoying and just... That's about it. That's about all for that book. The blurb just gives off nothing. Single mommy, boy next door. I'm done. Next book, Luna and the Lie by Mara Zapata. Yup, you're seeing where this is going? Yeah, I know you do. I know. You're smart like that. You're smart like that. I gave this book a 3.9 stars. We have our main character, Luna, and she works in an auto shop. It's just like an auto mechanic shop. An auto shop, basically. So another thing, before I start this book said something about something that one of the main character boys was in his past life. So if you do, some of these are very much so connected. So one of the books I read, Wait For It, I would say read Colty before you read Wait For It. And then also with Luna and the Lie, read Under Lock before you read Luna and the Lie. Because it says something in there about something that if I previously had read Under Lock before Luna and the Lie, I would have known about this thing and I would have been like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. But it's okay, it's chill, it's whatever. You don't have to, but I would suggest it. So she works in this auto mechanic shop with a boss that she really loves. She has like a new boss now. Ripley/Rip is the main character dude-ish. And he is a new boss. Luna is trying to just survive in her world. She has this little lie, something that she lied about, but then there's also other little things about her family that she hasn't told many people that I was like, oh, okay. And then Ripley has something that he never really lied about, but he never outstated and said this thing. So, I'm probably not explaining these really well, but the blurb doesn't really give much away. So, I'm trying my best here, guys. Okay. Next book was, you guessed it, Under Lock by none other than Mariana Zapata. So the main character girl, Iris, just moves in with her half-brother, step-brother, brother all the same. And he gets her a job with this tattoo artist, Dex Locke. He's very like grumpy and she doesn't really like working with him and stuff, and he's also very rude. And she's like, I don't like this. I hate this. This is not fun for me. I don't like it. And she was going to not work in the tattoo shop and do another job, but she kind of regrets it. And then it kind of unfolds from there about her regretting her decision to work there, but then not at the same time, and vibing with it. And then all that comes with Dex and her, and then her brother being a part of something else. It was a lot happened in this book, as well as Luna and the Lie, that you would not have expected from the blurb. Under Lock, I gave a 3.9 stars. Now we have When Gracie Met the Grapevine. You guessed it, Mariana Zapata, and I gave this one a 3.9 stars. Ciao. I probably give it a 4 stars. Yeah, I'm gonna bump it up to 4 stars. Now for this one, we have Miss Gracie Girl. She is living alone right now. She's in a house, I think it was in New Mexico or Mexico somewhere, and she moves periodically. So in the beginning she's trying to figure out, she's like, oh, I should probably like move again, but I don't want to. I like it here, but I'll figure out tomorrow. Well, she has these gut feelings, and she's like, something like doesn't feel right. Either I need to eat or something's about to happen. And then she sees this like light outside or something, and she's like, oh. And then all of a sudden the light is falling down into her yard, and then there's a big man. There's just a big man. She's like, oh, what am I, like, what do I help him and stuff? And in this world, there's these 3 people that like kind of are like the superheroes, and they save the world. The Defender, Primordial, and the blah, blah, blah. So I need to know, there's 3 people. One of them is in her yard and lands in her yard. She doesn't really know if it's him or not at the beginning, because I think 2 of them, or just one of them, shows their face, and he doesn't really show his face, and he just pops up. He just pops up unannounced, truly. I don't know what to do with like superheroes. I don't know how to do this. So she takes him in and like starts caring for him. Well, something else happens that gets them wound up somewhere else, and then the story kind of takes a full 360 turn, and you kind of follow her through where she's going and what she's doing. And it was very interesting. So much happened in this book that I was like, oh, like, good morning again, good morning. It was a very interesting book, need I say less. But I give it 4 stars. Next, I actually do have this book myself. We have Miss Ellie Hazelwood's new book, Bride. If you guys know, you know I love me some Ellie Hazelwood. I love my girl Ellie Hazelwood. She is my bestie. She is my dog. I love Ellie Hazelwood. And I gave this book a 4.3 stars. This book, we have Misery, and then we have Low. So Misery is a vampire, and her dad is a part of this vampire councilman and very higher up and stuff. Low is a were, and he's one of the alphas, I guess, and he just became one of the alphas. Well, the political stuff is changing. Her dad throws her into an arranged marriage with Low, so that they have to hold it in, because the vampires and the weres have never really had a good relationship with each other. It just kind of like exists, but they're like, oh, don't cross this treaty or whatever. So to make matters like good and to be like a treaty, he pines her off, and you kind of follow along with them, their arranged marriage. There is also romance, but then there's another plot of Misery. She agreed to this marriage. It's not like she could not agree to it, but she most likely, they didn't care what she was going to say. But she agreed to it too because of something else that happened, and she's trying to find something out, and she thinks that Lo has the answers for her. So she's like, oh, I'm going to get the answers to this. So it's romance, politics, and then the side plot of what they're trying to find out. A lot happened in this book, and I loved it. It felt like an Ellie Hazelwood, but less like the STEM novels, because I would say with her writing, I love her writing, do not get me wrong, but is it a bit cringy at times? Yes. Are the characters a bit cringy? Yes. It's just how Allie's writing is with them. Check and Mate kind of changed, and I was like, okay. She kind of backed off the cringiness a little bit. This one, fully gone. I was like, I love it. But with some ones, I like it. But with other books, I'm like, after a while, it's like, okay, we get it. You have galaxy leggings. Come on. But with this one, I loved it, and I could not stop reading it at all. I think I read it in one day, and I had work that day. Says a lot. But I wish that there was more romance in it. Nonetheless, say I loved it. I want to read it again. It was so good. I don't know why, but I just love vampires in books. I think it's because I've always wanted to be a vampire, but anyway. Next book I read was Cocky Score by Kyleigh King. I just randomly found it on Kindle Unlimited and I was like, oh, okay, let's read it. And this is a part of the series, The Hawk Ice Hockey. So they are connected standalones. The first one, I gave this one a 3.8 stars. This hockey dude, his name is Briggs. His career is kind of like going down because of something that happened. I wish I could remember what he did. So they hired this PR company to come in and save his booty. And on that PR team, we have this girl that's our main character girl, and she's actually was childhood friends with him. So somebody suggested, oh, hey, let's do like a childhood meet cute, because like they know each other from when they were little. And the girl's like, yes, let's do it. And you're the perfect candidate. You're in the PR. You can make it look good. You are the girl next door. And we don't have to go out and be like, oh, you have to sign an NDA. Like, of course she has to sign an NDA. And what's even funnier is that it's her brother's best friend is the dude. Now, yeah. They're fake dating, and they have to go along on these fake dates to get the PR good. And then they have to, like, live together. And you're kind of going along with them on that aspect of things. And I liked it. But some things I was like, okay, like, chill out. What are you doing? It's not that big of a deal. I feel like authors just want a third act breakup so bad that they do everything in their power to get it, even if it's a stupid reason. Next book was Filthy Score by, you guessed it, Kyleigh King. And I gave this one a 3.5 stars. This one goes with, in Cocky Score, our main girl, she got with a group of friends. One of the friends, this is her book, and she is the social media manager. Well, one of the hockey players is very annoying, never listens to the social media stuff. He's always out partying. And she's like, no, you need to delete this from your socials. You need to stop doing this, blah, 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 blah. They get in a big argument. And he's like, okay, so for this one, we have like a volunteer thing. Oh, actually, I'm doing this volunteer. And she's like, you're not going to actually volunteer. Like, I can tell you right now, you're not going to actually do it. So that week, she was going to go on a trip to Cabo. The owner was like, you want to go with him and see if he's actually going to do it? And she's like, no, I'm going to Cabo. Well, she ends up going. And you follow them in their week where he has this persona of being that playboy hockey, but in his home and his like town. He's a different person. He's not like that. And they love to bet each other things. Like in the beginning, and you see in the other book, he bets like, oh, you can't steal like my card from my wallet. Well, she did, and she spent some money on it. They did a bet. He knows that she never backs down for a challenge, so you're following along with them as they do the vacation. And she's like, oh wait, he's not like, he's kind of different. And then the bet. Next book is Brutal Score by Kyleigh King. I gave this one a 3.7 stars. This girl that you also met in the first book, not really in the second one, they weren't really in the second one, but I was waiting for this one. I knew that this was going to happen. I was really excited about it. So we have this single dad, and he has a nanny in the first book. Well, in this book, you get to see how they actually met before she became his nanny. And then a night happened in Vegas, and then her sister owns a nanny thing. And she's like, okay, well, while I'm here on this like vacation, I guess, like I'll do this for like a month or 2 months or something, and then I'll go back. She soon figures out who she's actually nannying for and be like, oh, we've actually already met. Because she stole something off of his nightstand, because she's like, oh yeah, it's like he was gonna give it to mine. No, it wasn't for her, you see. And he's kind of mad. She's like, oh, she's a thief, like she's not gonna be my nanny. But his mom's like, you need to do this because something else is going on. which in the ending, it was a little bit rushed. And then also the main character guy, some things he did, I was just like, why? Why'd you do that? Like, that was the stupidest thing you've done. What's the reason? What's the point? Next we have rough score, and I gave this a 3.6, and this one is A Marriage of Convenience. So the team captain is from Canada, and he finds out that his visa is about to expire. Oh yeah, I'll just get with my girlfriend at the time. No, the girlfriend's like, I want an actual wedding and stuff, because she's like an influencer. And he's like, we need it like next week so I can get the visa paperwork through. She's like, yeah. She was like, okay, well, I guess I have to find somebody else. So Juliet is going to her car from hockey, and it's pretty late, and she starts like slipping on ice. Well, she meets this dude, Riker. He like kind of starts with her, and he's like, oh, you wanna get married? Because she makes a deal with him ish, because she needs money for something, and he's like, oh, I can give you this if you can just do this for me. A little bit scrabbling, and then she agrees to it, and they start like faking it, and his team's kind of like, oh, what's going on, like, why haven't you told us about this and stuff? You know what comes with like faking it and wabba. And it wasn't my favorite because of the ending and like what happened. It's just like, bruh. Next book, I finally did it, guys, and you'll be seeing this in a video too. Finally finished Iron Flame by Kyleigh R. I gave this a 4.35. I can't tell you what it's about because it's the second book and I'm gonna spoil it. So just Fourth Wing. This is the second book to Fourth Wing. If you don't know Fourth Wing, there's dragons in there. There's an Academy Basgia. Basically, there's scribes and then there's writers. And Violet was going to be a scribe, but her mom's like, you're not actually gonna be a scribe anymore. You're gonna be a writer. Surprise, Shawty. She's like, crap, she's only trained to be a scribe. She's never been a writer, and to be a writer, it's very physically demanding on you and stuff, and she needs to find a dragon because a writer without a dragon is dead. And you follow her through all of the challenges and stuff that she goes through, along with this other character. Kind of helps her. And then this one, the second one, follows through with how that book ends, which kind of ends on a little cliffhanger. And guess what? You guess what? And guess what? You guessed it. This one ends on a freaking cliffhanger too. And I legitimately cannot wait for the freaking third book. Because I need it now. Because the way this one ends, the way that one ends, kind of like, oh, like you could stop reading it. This one, no, you need it now. If you see in the video where I read this, brothers and sisters. What? I was speechless. I had no words. Now the last book of this reading month was the new Sophie Lark book, Love Contract. I love Sophie's book, but this one, I just didn't vibe with. I didn't vibe with it. I gave it a 3.9 stars. I know. I'm really upset too. And I don't know how it happened, but it happened like that. So basically, Theo, she wanted to be like a culinary person for her boss, Angus. But he decides like, oh no, I want you as an assistant, not like this. But he's like, oh yeah, like I'll get you your dream of owning a restaurant sooner or later. Well, it's a little bit later and it still hasn't come yet. So she has this dude that she knows, Sullivan Rivas. And he comes through and he goes, Theo. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he knows something about her that she essentially lied about. He's like, I'm gonna blackmail you because I want to make a deal with your boss. You're gonna help me by us fake dating. And so you kind of follow how Sully is trying to blackmail, and they have to go through public displays of affection because, of course, fake dating. It wasn't my favorite because of something that she said in there. I was like, oh, Sophie, why would you say that? Why would you? What? I thought we agreed on something, and you said that, and I was like, oh. And I kind of died inside a little bit. The ending kind of felt a little bit rushed, and the way that it happened, and I was like, y'all just communicate, please. Like, it's not that deep. Those are all my February reads, guys. I hope you enjoyed and you had a fun time listening to me talk about my books that I read for February. And if you needed any recommendations, I hope you got some. And if you saw a book that I didn't necessarily really like, but you thought that you might like, go ahead and read it, girl. Because you might have different reading tastes, and that's okay. Because everybody's opinions are going to be different. Because guess what? It's your opinion, and I have my opinion. So don't come for me if you really liked a book in here that I didn't really like. Everybody has different tastes. There's one trope that I might like that you might not like. Like, most of these are freaking fake dating, which I actually didn't realize until now. And I love that trope. But you might not like that trope, which is totally fine. Just don't read and don't hate on me for liking it. Thank you. I hope you guys have a good one. And follow all my social medias. They're gonna be linked down below. And I also have my Goodreads link down below, and also my Amazon wishlist if you want to send me books that you want me to read. Could really do that. And then I also have a list of all the books that I have read, that if you guys wanted to buy some of these books, they'll be on there. And I have a Liquid IV code down below that you can get 20% off and free shipping. And then I have an Every Jules code that you can get 20% off with. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. Mwah.